What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Terrence Bud Crawford. And he had this to say about Errol Spence, the unified welterweight champion of the world. He said that I would make, or should I say, I'll make Errol Spence look like an ordinary fighter. Wow. Spence, like his welterweight rival, believes that he's going to dominate once they meet. And Terence Crawford also said that he's entitled to feel that way. It says, just like when I called him up and told him I'm going to beat his ass, I'm entitled to feel that way, but the only thing different between me and him is I mean it. When that fight happens, everybody is going to see a different side of Terence Crawford that they really haven't seen before. And they are going to see a different side of Errol Spence as well, because I'm going to make him look like an ordinary fighter. Wow. Crawford also had this. He said, when we get in the ring, I'm going to beat your ass. Let's do it. Let's just do that, Crawford says. When I say I'm going to fuck you up, I really mean I'm going to F you up. I don't want to create fake beef so they can say we for real, then we at the bar drinking beers together afterwards. Wow. Those are the words of Terrence Bud Crawford. And, you know, this is pretty much a confirmation that Terence Crawford, not only, this isn't a back and forth thing between who wants it or not. I know what people around Errol Spence is trying to convey. They're trying to insinuate that the Terence Crawford didn't want the fight like he claims he was. That's why that beef between Jermell Charlo, and Terence Crawford started, because Jermell was trying to plant some dirty seeds of lies, okay? That tries to insinuate that Terence Crawford didn't want that fight. Because remember when he was like, oh man, that shit ain't really what it is. But it is what it is. Terence Crawford wanted that fight before Errol Spence was willing to make it. Okay? See, I believe that Terence Crawford wants to show he's the best in that weight division. Now, if Errol Spence was at 154, we wouldn't even be having this problem. We wouldn't even be having this conversation, because therefore Errol Spence is at a different weight class. The only reason Terence Crawford wants to get in his ass is because he's at that weight class, and that's what Terence Crawford does. He goes to each and every weight class and dominates. He takes over the whole division. He shows his dominance, he shows his skill, and he shows it with some fury. Okay? So, this is what we have. Errol Spence, I'm not sure if he really wants that fight like Terence Crawford does. But I'll say this, a lot of pressure has been on Errol Spence to make this fight. It has. Okay, that's why he's like, oh, we're going to have it sometime this year or later next year. So late 2020, definitely 2021. He knows that, and he's buying time because he knows at some point he's going to have to face Terence Crawford. Okay? And I know he compared Kovalevskis, the Mean Machine, and his knockdown of Terence Crawford to what he could possibly do. See, that's the main question for me when it's dealing with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Errol Spence is a big puncher. He's a good puncher. Okay? I think he is more known for his pressure, if anything. You know, more than like just punching power. I mean, he can bang, but he's not just total knockout artist. He likes to work the body. He likes to put the pressure on. He's a big, busy, bold, decent welterweight. Okay, so that's his strengths. Terence Crawford is a guy that has all the skills. Errol Spence won't be able to outbox Terence Crawford. It won't be that type of fight. And Terence Crawford is showing like, hey, I'm going to make him look like an ordinary fighter. Now, you might look at that as being cocky or bold or something along that nature, but I assure you, I don't think it is. Why? Because what did Errol Spence look like when he fought Sean Porter? Did he look like he was just this dominant fighter? No, he didn't. He looked like a regular fighter going against another tough fighter. There were two warriors in there getting it on. Okay, he didn't look like he was anything special. He showed that he was tough. He showed that he could bang. He showed that he could take some punches from Shawn Porter. But honestly, but we rate Shawn Porter's punching power. He's known to rough you up. He's very physical. But as far as like huge punchers, he hasn't been in there with huge punchers. Chris Algieri, not a huge puncher. You know what I mean? Who has he been in there with? Samuel Vargas. Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter's really been his claim to fame. Kell Brook was decent. But I seen Kell Brook give Errol Spence problems. Okay, and again, I think if Kell Brook's face would have held up, that would have been a different fight. You know, because that fight was pretty competitive. It's just that Errol Spence knew he had to put the pressure on, and he did that. But the question is, could he do something like that with Terence Crawford? Now, with Terence Crawford, I do wonder, because at times, Terence Crawford does get clocked here and there. You know, so the whole thing is, can he take punches? Because I think and I feel that Jose Benavidez hit him with too many flush shots. So the question you do ask yourself is, would he allow Errol Spence to get those shots off that these other fighters like Mean Machine, Jose Benavidez done? Will he do that? Because if he does, we'll see how Terence Crawford can take or react to the punches of Errol Spence. That's the only deciding factor with that. Body shots, I don't see. Here's the thing: angles and you have to be at a certain range to throw body shots. You got to be willing to get inside of the guard of the defense of Terence Crawford. And when you're doing that, and then when you think about doing that, you're getting hit 2 or 3 times from an angle you're not prepared to defend from, probably nor punch from. Ask Amir Khan. So it's a wash. That's why it's such an intriguing fight to me, because Errol Spence, I think Errol Spence should have stayed getting hungry or being hungry. I know everybody wants to fight Pacquiao, and to support that argument, I can understand if I'm a young fighter. Let's look at an older fighter, because fighting that guy is like fighting Shawn Porter is not like fighting Manny Pacquiao. I get it. You know what I mean? So what do you think Keith Thurman thinks about most? When he looks back at his career, does he think about the Porter fight, or does he think about the Pacquiao fight? When he thinks back at boxing, the first thing that might pop in his mind would be Pacquiao. Not because he lost, probably because he lost, but he would think about it because of that legacy. So I understand Errol Spence wants to get in there and fight Manny Pacquiao. However, I don't even know if Manny Pacquiao's fighting on PBC no more. So if he's not doing that and he's going to sign something like The Zone, I think that'll leave Errol Spence out, because he's trying to be a half-ass company man or corporation man that likes to show loyalty to these particular networks, which is stupid, I feel. But anyway, this fight's going to be a good fight. Terence Crawford, he's after Errol Spence because Errol Spence has 2 of those belts. Okay? That's what it's about. This is where it's at. I don't know what Manny's going to do with his WBA Super World title, but, the IBF and the WBC belong to Errol Spence. He's holding them right now. And Terence Crawford wants them. Okay? And he's the guy that's so supposedly feared. And it looks good. But here's the deal. If he does what he says he's going to do, what'll happen is he will be, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world when he takes out Errol the Truth Spence. Anyway, that's my take on it. You guys tell me what you feel, what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.